I want to touch base with what Dan and Jen said. Thank you guys so very much for being such huge supporters for the ARCHway Institute and believing in the mission of what we do. So my name is Marybeth Hill. I am the new event coordinator for the ARCHway Institute, but I am also a person of long-term recovery. Thank you. By the grace of God, I will celebrate 8 continuous years, May 9th of this year. So I'm just so excited. But my life has not always been what it is, right? And you guys see the person that is standing here today, and this has not always been who I am. I spent almost 17 years of my life in active addiction, and that carried me to a lot of deep, dark places. I have been incarcerated a very big majority of my life. I am a person who has successfully reintegrated society from federal incarceration. I believe, in the power of recovery. Whenever I found recovery, I was face down on my 10th rock bottom, right? I had no idea how to live. I had no idea how to manage my life. My life was, how do I get more, how do I get more money, more drugs? And that's what I did for many, many, many years. Whenever I found recovery, I was federally indicted for drug trafficking charges in 2017. And I would spend the next 2.5 years of my life incarcerated in Illinois. So today, you guys are here benefiting the Charlotte Behavioral Health and the Sheriff's Department in an awesome recovery program that they have, where individuals can actually go to the police department who are seeking recovery, and if they choose to do that, they can get the help that they need at another facility. And that is something that is so amazing, you guys. That was not something, whenever I got into recovery, there was no diversion programs. There were no help. There was nothing that I had access to help me find a new way to live. I had a judge who told me, hey, you're going to do this recovery or you're going to go to prison for the next 10 years of your life. And so I did it to the best of my ability. And today the ARCHway Institute is working on so many different programs across the nation. We just secured a grant for $43,000 in Arkansas with the Department of Education and the opioid response settlement money to train a peer recovery support specialist into a preventionist peer, which that means that there's going to be schools all over the state of Arkansas where there is a preventionist peer that is there for the first point of contact. Because for so many different people who are like me, that is whenever addiction started for me, when I was a child. And and I came from a family, my dad was the father of a Southern Baptist preacher, and he was also in the military, and so we did not talk about the disease of addiction. There were not conversations about mental health, right? We stood it up, we showed up, and we swept it under the rug, and that's how I was conditioned for the most part of my life. So it is so important, you guys, that we reach these individuals at that young age so they don't have to reach that rock bottom where they're going to federal prison. They don't have to reach that rock bottom of never coming back, because that's what the disease of addiction is. It's not even so much about incarceration anymore, it's about life and it's about death. And today I promise you I want to live. We have something called the Hope Fund sponsor, you guys. If you guys don't know what that is, we have so many different Hope Fund sponsors in the room today. So if you are a Hope Fund sponsor, thank you guys so much for for everything that you guys continue to do to support the ARCHway Institute. It goes to benefit people who are just like me, who may not have that support system to find a new way to live. I encourage you, if you are interested in becoming a Hope Fund sponsor, that you get with Dan or Jan or I, and we would love to tell you about what we do, how it helps. We give scholarships to people all across the nation. $500 should never stop somebody from seeking a new way of life. It should never be a barrier. And so that's where the ARCHway Institute comes in. We love to fill that gap for anybody who is looking to seeking recovery, that they have that chance just like I did. Thank you guys so much.